Hey everybody, welcome back to the Working Man's Whiskey. I'm Bobby. Guys, review number 200 today. Been waiting to do this one. I've had these two bottles here for a while. Old Forester 1910 and Old Forester 1920. Both part of the Whiskey Row series from Old Forester, which is of course from Brown-Forman. It's good stuff, guys. I mean, I always enjoy Old Forester. The 1897, the 1870, those are the other two bottles in the Whiskey Row series. But, you know, I've, of course, reviewed the Rye and the original Old Forester, the Signature, the 100 Proof. So I really, really enjoy all their stuff. Guys, before I start this review, I just wanted to talk about kind of, not too much about it, but mention the stuff that's going on in the world right now with, you know, the coronavirus and all that. Guys, not going to get into the, you know, of course I want everybody to, you know, it's best to be cautious. Don't be scared, but be cautious, guys. Take precautions. I know a lot of people out there personally that aren't totally taking it seriously yet. It's best to just definitely take it seriously. Be cautious. As I said, don't be afraid or scared. Don't live in fear, but definitely take the precautions and all that. You guys know that. And guys, as far as all this hoarding goes with, you know, groceries and whatnot, toilet paper and hand sanitizer and other things, you know, I mean, it's anything, diapers and baby wipes. Guys, don't be hoarding stuff for, you know, getting enough for a year or whatever it is. There's people out there that need stuff too. We all just need to kind of work together and be good to each other. This is a test, guys. I mean, this is a true test to see how we'll react. And the panic stuff that's no solution at all. That's no solution at all. And I'll just leave it right there. Be good to each other. You know, let's help each other out, get through this together, and come out the other side. So that's all I'll say about that right now. But hope you guys are all doing well. Stay well, and you know, if you or you know somebody who might be affected by this, you know, I'm here for you guys. I really am. I mean, I know I'm just a YouTube channel, but I care, and we're all gonna get through this together. Let's just do the best we can for each other, huh? So that's it for now, guys. Let's talk about these two whiskeys right here. So the 1910, the Old Forester 1910 right here, this is their Old Fine whiskey. And Whiskey Row series is about kind of replicating old style whiskeys that Brown-Forman or Old Forester has done in the past. The 1910 here came from, there was a fire. Old Forester had a fire at their distillery back in 1910. It stopped production, and they had to do something with the whiskey that they already had in the vats. You know, they, per bourbon rules, of course, they couldn't really, you know, they were kind of limited on what they could do. So what did they do? They put the whiskey in a second barrel, a brand new charred oak barrel, and essentially created the first double barrel bourbon, and it worked out perfectly, and that's what this is replicating right here. It's, you know, from the first double barreled bourbon, aging it two different times. And the second barrel, I believe this is their 4-year product, from what I understand. This is their 4-year product, then they take it out of that first barrel and they age it in a second barrel for an additional 6 to 9 months. So you're getting close to 5 years in age there, and it just gives it some really nice flavors from those different barrels. Really nice char and everything you're going to get in, you know, from two separate barrels. So we're going to put the 1910 in. That was a nice little pop there, huh? We're going to put the 1910 in the Jefferson's tumbler here. There we go. And I'm not going to fill it up all the way, guys, because I do have two whiskeys here. This one's 93 proof, the 1910. And the Prohibition style one here, the 1920, which is, of course, I mean, kind of self-explanatory. This whiskey here is as close to their pre-Prohibition style bourbon that they were making back in 1920. So we'll pour that one in my normal handy dandy shot glass here, my tumbler. And that one, guys, is 115 proof, by the way. It's gonna put a little hair on your knuckles. So guys, looking forward to this. We're my family and I are here at Pismo Beach. We're actually, which is in San Luis Obispo County, for anybody who doesn't know. Pismo Beach is, we're right down the road from Pismo Beach. We're actually in a place called Oceana, and this area is great for there's a lot of beaches and surfing and people with their quads, and it's a nice area just to get out on the beach and hit the dunes, whatever you want to do. It's a nice area, really nice area. So if anybody's out in California, San Luis Obispo, check out Pismo Beach, Oceano Dunes. Pretty nice area here, guys. So thank you for watching, guys, by the way. So the 1910, I'll switch these two because that's the order. The Jefferson's is, of course, the 1910 is in the Jefferson's tumbler there. But thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Always look forward to getting reviews on here for you guys. Things get crazy sometimes, but here we are, guys. Review number 200. Thank you guys as always. Love you guys, and I always appreciate the support. It means a lot to me. So let's get this going. This first one here, here's the 1910, guys. And the 1910, these two whiskeys are, they're, to me, kind of like dessert whiskeys. They're sweet, but full of flavor. Just really good character in both of these bottles right here, guys. Old Forester, to me, I haven't had a bad product from Old Forester, and I really enjoy their stuff. So, 1910, you get, man, I've heard other people say it too, but I'm gonna kind of echo their comments. There's some really good, you get your caramel and, nice vanilla in there. A good little cake frosting type note, guys, like a sweet cream almost. Sweet cream that you get inside of a cake. Definitely has that signature Brown Forman, little bit of that banana type note, which to me kind of almost borders like furniture polish, guys, which I love. I think it's a nice scent. I do. I don't know why. It's one of those weird scents that you get that just smells good. A little bit of maybe a little bit of like a cocoa type note to it. And I'll say this, guys, real quick. Both of these whiskeys, I was not totally sold on either one of these. I bought these probably a couple months apart, both getting down close to the bottom now. I've had them both for, I don't know, probably a few months. But when I bought both of these bottles, when I opened them, I wasn't overly impressed by them, considering all the hype and the Whiskey Row series and how much I like Old Forester. But give these some time. Give these some time. It's very important. They're both really, really good, but in time. So let's take a taste. And just looking at the, I forgot to do color. It's probably the least of my, I talk about color, I talk about nose, and I talk about the palate. Color to me is the least important, really. But I got a nice dark color here, guys. Of course, double barrel, all that char. You know, that second barrel that they put the whiskey in, they char it almost to the point of incineration. So it's got a lot of good barrel char to it. But yeah, guys, I would call this. I mean, this is, I don't know if you guys can tell looking at it, but it's a deep amber color. So, and compared to this one, it's funny. The 1910 is actually, maybe because it's a, you know, double barreled bourbon, but the 1910 is actually darker than the 1920 there, which is kind of, to me, kind of funny. A little bit darker. I would guess the 1920 is the same age, but that double barreled bourbon, the 1910, just gives it a nice dark color to it. So take another taste, guys. Yeah, more of that dessert. There's almost like a creme brulee type taste to it on the palate. So I get, it's funny, I get bananas, almost like a banana cream pie, a little bit of a creme brulee, that buttercream frosting. So all those dessert notes to the 1910. The oak, definitely oak in there, as you can imagine. Vanilla, going back to the desserts there. And some cocoa, definitely some cocoa in there too, guys. So 1910, good stuff. And as I said, it needed some time, but it opened up nicely. So take a little sip of water here and check out the 1920, guys. All right. So, Old Forester 1920. As I said, it's a little bit lighter than the 1910, but it's still a good solid amber color. Yeah, nice color to it, guys. And it's got some pretty slow moving legs. Some are faster than others, but it's got some nice slow ones there. Nice viscous whiskey. Give it a nose. And guys, this one here, the 1920, these are two totally different whiskeys. The 1920 is more, it does have some of the, you know, kind of almost a cocoa or chocolatey type note to it, but it's got more of the caramels and the vanilla and, you know, just more of a regular vanilla, not a dessert type of vanilla. And just a lot more of your, you know, classic bourbon notes to it. Oh man, this is another one, as I said before, the 1920, I am very happy with how it opened up, guys, because I was not very impressed by it at first. I mean, the 1910 was like $49 when I bought it, 55 or so for the 1920. So, you know, I wanted to make sure I was getting something, you know, getting totally satisfied with my money or with my buy there. And I wasn't at first, but I let it open up, and glad I did, guys, because it's really, really good stuff. Yeah, it's just got so much more kind of deep caramel, more on the brown sugar side to it than the 1910. It's funny. So the 1910 is more on the dessert side of sweet, but the 1920, you know, with the proofing being higher, and I'm attributing it to the proof, but it's those sweet flavors, those sweet classic bourbon flavors really come through well, guys. So see what we have here. But yeah, that caramel note, which kind of borderlines on brown sugar, and it's just a really nice. It's got a really nice caramel candy type note to it. So let's take a taste. The 1920, guys. It's funny. I've been going back and forth on these for a while. The 1910, well, let me go back. The 1920 is more up my alley for what I usually like, but on certain days, the 1910 just hits me just right. Today, the 1920 is hitting me a little bit better than the 1910. So the Prohibition style 1920. Let me read the back of these, by the way. I think they say the same exact thing, actually. So this is the classic Brown-Forman. It says, this whiskey is distilled by us only, and we are responsible for its richness and fine quality. Its elegant flavor is solely due to original fineness developed with care. There's nothing better in the market. And that was George Garvin Brown, the founder. So, and as I said, guys, I really enjoy Old Forester. As far as the, Brown-Forman products, this Old Forester is my favorite line from Brown-Forman. So, really, really good stuff. Let's take another sip of the 1920 here. It's got the 1920 Prohibition, it's got some good spice notes to it. Definitely some good spice in the rye there. But, the rye's coming through really well. But those deep caramel and brown sugar notes, a little bit of a chocolatey type note, kind of stick out with this one for me. The 1910, it was more of that dessert, creme brulee and banana cream pie, and those more of the dessert notes and a cocoa note, and then of course that oak being double barreled. So these both have their own uniqueness to them, and I like them both a lot, guys. So I'm gonna take one more sip and give them a score and see what we got here. Now, I was going to take you guys out to the dunes today for the review. Been watching a lot of the Whiskey Scouts reviews, and he's one of my favorite reviewers, guys. And I always love the different locations that he does his reviews at, and I go to some really nice places. So I'd like to do a couple of those reviews, not to rip off your idea, Scout, but I like where you're going with yours, and I want to show some of the places I like to go too. So, in this thing. So the 1910, guys, I'm gonna give it an 88 out of 100. I think that's a fair score. Oh man. Sorry, we're gonna have to end this kind of quickly, guys. We got the whole family coming back. They just walked across the street real quick. So 88 out of 100 for the 1910, guys. The 1920, I'm gonna give this an even 90, guys. An even 90, fair score. And that's gonna do it for now, guys. Glad you guys watched. Thank you so much for watching this review. I hope to get back on here soon, but this was review number 200, guys. So thank you so much for the years. We've been here since 1916, 2016. So thank you so much for all the support since then, and I look forward to doing a lot more, guys. So thank you, and look forward to talking to you all soon. And until next time, cheers.